Manchester United might be serious with Martin Zubimendi. Meanwhile, Fabrizio Romano has dropped an update on another player who has been linked with the Red Devils. Welcome to the United of Sport. It's the evening update. And like, guys, like, don't you drop the ball, fam. Like the videos, share, and subscribe, of course, as we do keep growing. We are on the road to 10K, but fam, it's so difficult to get 10K subscribers. How on earth do people even get 1 million, 100K? Goodness, but patience pays, fam. Stick with me and let's grow together. Now, here's the latest that is coming through. Of course, Zubimendi now, according to reports that are nearly credible, they are suggesting, like I was telling you for weeks before, that indeed Man United have considered Martin Zubimendi. He's on the list, high on the list of potential signings for Man United in this summer to come in as a holding midfielder to come and try to post the team and, of course, steer up the rebuild that is going on with Ineos. Now, of course, there are so many we've been linked with, and some of them have really dropped off. For Fana, for example, I don't think United is going to go and snatch for Fana from the teeth of AC Milan. Onana was already unveiled by Aston Villa. So Man United, I think the pool is now becoming smaller, though there are new names emerging in Richard Rios and the likes. But according to what we pick now, remember Ineos said they're going to always form a list of 3 players for each department. And now it looks like like Zubimendi is high on the list. And remember, this is a player who played so well at the Euros. He has got a £50 million buyout clause in his contract with Real Sociedad. And that's where you feel, will United be willing to trigger that buyout clause? He's 25 years of age. He's not a baby. He's not so young. So, I mean, he's the ripe age of a footballer. And he's also wanted by clubs like Arsenal. So there could be a bidding war, because I saw a report somewhere that suggested that Arsenal were willing to meet his buyout clause. Question is, are Man United as well willing to meet that buyout clause? So it's an interesting situation that's emerging. I've said here time and again that he's a good footballer, though I think Manuel Ugarte is a better option for Man United than Zubimendi. But it is also possible that Ineos are contemplating bringing them both, because I told you, like we've seen them do in the defense department, in the defense department, they could do the same in the midfield and bring in more than one midfielders, because if they find the right midfielders with the right amount, they could bring in, say, Ugarte and Zubimendi if the money is there, or they could bring in Zubimendi and Richard Rios, or Ugarte and Richard Rios. So it's highly possible that Man United could bring in 2 midfielders. Now, speaking of those, if I can hold Zubimendi for a second, Fabrizio Romano has dropped this update about. This is a recent update that has just come in, of course, about another player we've been linked with in Xavi Simons, and he's saying that he understands RB Leipzig are now confident to get green light for Xavi Simons. Remember, he has already been there on loan, saying the transfer battle with Bayern is still ongoing, but Leipzig CEO means while pushing in talks to bring Xavi back. PSG have no plans to sell Xavi, open to a loan move, and RB Leipzig hope to get it done. So this is where we are. I know that Man United has been linked with Xavi Simons as well. Of course, we knew that he could be one of the players we bring in on loan. But from this report that is coming in from Fabrizio Romano, I think it looks likely, like I said it here also, I've been saying it here, that I think the odds are high for Xavi Simons to stay in Germany, to either go to RB Leipzig or go to stay at RB Leipzig, where he was on loan for the last season, or join Bayern Munich. But this United doesn't seem to really be so real on him. So that's why. So the talk now for Man United is more on Zubimendi, and of course we are now waiting. Is it Zubimendi and Ugarte? Is it Zubimendi alone? Is it Zubimendi and Richard Rios? Is it Zubimendi, Ugarte and Rios? It's interesting. I think the battles are about to be clear, but soon, be sure something will come. I believe we'll get an update on this situation. I think the clubs that we are dealing with are just holding back. I think trying to slow us down to try and, of course, get the best deals for themselves, not to show desperation. It's a strategy when it comes to negotiating. The reality, though, is uh, someone dropped a comment. I think in one of my last videos, someone dropped a comment saying that he doesn't understand why, and because I've been consistent personally saying it, that I think Kobe Maino's best position is number 10. And many of you probably will agree with me. And this person is saying, so if we think Kobe Maino's best position is the Bruno position, the number 10 where Bruno always plays, we know that Eric Ten Hag is not going to pull Bruno back and play him as a number 8, whereas he can play there. We know with the creativity he's proven, it's difficult to make that decision and drop him deep a bit for Kobe to be in 10. So for as long as Bruno is there, Kobe will not play 10, probably. But this person is saying that instead of bringing in a player who a holding midfielder, a defensive midfielder, shouldn't we be thinking of bringing in a player, a number 8, so that, of course, we know that Bruno will not be there for the next 3, perhaps or 4 seasons. So we look at the future, and we are bringing in a player who is going to play the number 8. Then Kobe is pushed ahead where Bruno is now. It's for the long term, it sounds good for a person like me who thinks that Kobe's best position is a number 10. But in terms of the immediate term, if for as long as Bruno Fernandes is still there, I don't see Eric Ten Hag making Kobe the number 10. Yet Kobe, even if we bring in whichever number 8, because I believe Zubimendi can be a proper number. I consider Zubimendi more as a number 8 than a 6, honestly, yet Ugarte is more of a 6. Now, I'm thinking if we bring in Ugarte and Zubimendi, let's say Ugarte is 6, Zubimendi is 8, and I'm assuming Eric Ten Hag is then planning to play 4-2-3-1 formation. So you have Ugarte 6 and Zubimendi 8. Then who is going to be the 10? Do you expect Kobe to be benched? It's not happening. I don't see Kobe being benched for whichever reason. Do you expect Bruno to be benched? I don't see that happening unless Bruno is going to be pushed wide. And if he's pushed wide, for me, Bruno playing wide is as good as not there. So it's for the immediate, it's a confusion. Perhaps if Eric Ten Hag says, I'm going to bring in Zubimendi and Ugarte, but have Ugarte start as the number 6, play Kobe and Bruno, then after 2 seasons, then Bruno is fading out, then Kobe will be then pushed to 8, then Zubimendi will come and start. It's a difficult, sometimes you can make signings that could bring problems for you. Because the reality is, if United signs Zubimendi now with Ugarte, because this is what this person was saying, which is, I think, also possible. But if we brought in both, many people will be feeling they all have got to play. They all have got to play. Well, unless we are going to change the formation to a 4-4-2 diamond, where we can accommodate all. We are going to go midfield first. So you have a number 6 in Ugarte, then you've got 2 blocking. You've got one on the left, that is maybe Kobe. Then on the other side Zubimendi. Then Bruno up top. Then you've only got slots for 2 up top, Hoyland and maybe I don't know Zirkzee or Zirkzee and Garnacho. So, but then we know that in the modern game today, width is so important. Man United wants to play with width. You don't see teams play 4-4-2 diamond. So, whereas you want depth that is not going to cause confusion for you as a manager, because that way you could kill your best players. You could end up killing your best players. So it's an interesting scenario. Let's wait and see how it unfolds. But you can drop down a comment yourself and let me know, in your view, what do you think would make sense for Manchester United? Which signings in the middle? Because it seems the focus now for Ineos, as they wait on Everton and Bayern to make their decisions on Branthwaite and Mathis de Ligt respectively, there seems to be a focus now on the midfield. What do you think would be the best signings to make? If we could make 2 signings, for example, who would those be in your view? Drop down a comment and let me know what you think. And of course, I'll be glad with that. Now, there is a new report that is coming through that Man United reported is set to loan out 2 players who have impressed in preseason. Eric Ten Hag, of course. Well, let me just get the players. That is Joe Hugill, who scored one of the goals. Joe Hugill, the one who scored one of the second goal against Rangers, and then Radek Vitek, who was impressive in between the sticks against Rosenborg. I think these are 2 players apparently that United are looking to loan out. These are reports that are coming through. I do hope they give a chance to Toby Collier. I feel like of all the kids we've seen so far in preseason, I think he deserves the chance to come in and just warm the bench and be there. Come in for a few minutes. He is one for the future. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. I will be back later in the night with more Man United news.